Hey everybody, friends from around the world, thanks for tuning into another video. We've made it, guys. Finally made it. After all this time, I'm finally here. I've been in China over a decade. I've always wanted to come here. Finally here. That's right, we are in Chongqing. Now there has been a big push. There's been a slew of videos trying to promote tourism to this area. And a lot of the videos are kind of propaganda-ish. And they pretty much all show the same things. And of course, I'm gonna be showing some of that stuff too, but I wanna really show you what it's like. And I'm gonna give you my first impressions, first evening in Chongqing. And I'll tell you, the first impression right here is that this is insanely crowded. And this is kind of cool. As you walk up these stairs, you've got these cool little Chinese fans. It's because in the daytime, it's gonna be like an inferno here. I already know it. Now, one thing to know about this whole region, I mean, Chongqing is basically an area where rivers run right through it and connect. It's an area surrounded by mountains. So you got rivers, mountains, you got a lot of beautiful nature, and you can sense the kind of hilly nature of the city just right here in the middle of town. I mean, look, I was up there and I'm coming down pretty quick. Definitely a really unique feel. Tons of people out, and it's interesting because no matter where you walk, it smells like hot pot. This is it, Chongqing's most famous place, Hongyadong, and it's right here on the Jialing River, which if you actually keep going down that way, before too long it connects with the Yangtze River. And it's pretty crazy because if you look at the Yangtze or Yangtze River on a map, here in Chongqing, it's the upper reaches of the river, but if you take it and keep going east, it'll flow through Wuhan, it'll flow through Nanjing, and then ultimately Shanghai, where it is a pretty epic night view. You've got to admit. And to be honest, you guys haven't seen anything yet. But if you want to get to the best views, you've got to work your way through this. So if you want to get to the best part, guys, you're going to have to work for it, you know? You're gonna have to brave the crowds, because it's there's one word I can use to describe this. It's crowded. Think sardine can.
A few minutes later.
We're getting there, baby. We're getting there. We started way over there. Now we're over here.
A few minutes later.
And the journey continues. Oh.
A few minutes later.
We've braved the crowds. Now we're trying to get an elevator. I don't think I'm gonna make this one.
A few minutes later.
Well, when we first got to this place, you couldn't really see what it's all about. And the reason is because we were actually on top. And all that journey was to get down here to street level. You got the Jialing River over there. So this is what it looks like from street level. And basically, it's basically a replica of old style China. And it looks pretty amazing. It's the main tourist and kind of most iconic point here in Chongqing. I will say though, if you're exhausted and you are trying to do this, it's quite a crowd to work through. And it took me a couple minutes just to figure out even how to get outside of this whole complex. But this is it, Hongyadong. You've probably seen it in basically any Chongqing video that you've watched. It is a sight to behold. It's an interesting place. In Chinese, they would call it 热闹, which means lively and happening. So I'm glad I came, but it's not a place I would come to often just because you're fighting such a crowd. So actually, against my wishes, I'm going back in. I really don't want to, but I want to show you guys what it's like on the inside of this place. And you can see everybody doing these photo shoots from the different styles of dress from previous dynastic era China. But we're going back in. Because I have to, I can't just show you guys the outside, I've got to show you what the inside looks like as well. Hongyadong Folk Custom Store. And there are quite a few levels I took the elevator down from the 9th floor, and there were at least a couple more floors on top of that, so. But on this level, it looks like there's a lot of clothes and a lot of costume design. You saw all those people outside doing the photo shoots, right? Well, here's where they get prepared for it. And then they go outside and pay their money and get their custom photo. And show it to all their friends. So that's where all the costumes were. And just come out here to the stairwell. Back outside. We're gonna go up to the 3rd floor, see what this is all about. Whoa. Let's see what's happening up here on the 3rd floor. Third floor didn't look that interesting. Let's go ahead and skip that and move up here to the 4th floor, the Bayou Folk Food Street. Now this is more like it. I think you guys will be interested to see this level. 4th floor is food heaven. I gotta be honest, it smells so good walking through here. Probably doesn't help that I'm starving. So let's just walk through and see what kind of food they've got up here. So what kind of dining options. No shortage of them. A lot of different noodle types of things over here. Dumplings. And the prices, there's dandan mian, really spicy noodles for only 10 yuan. It's like a $1.50 US. But you can see you're just literally surrounded by food up here. And if you need dessert, there you go. 哎，这个很香，我喝过这个，我特别喜欢。谢谢，不喝，谢谢。And oh, this is cool. This is the they call it di liao. It's for whenever you make a hot pot, you put this in the water to make the soup. Of course, these are the spicy ones if you want a really hot and spicy hot pot. So this is pretty cool to see it in the full block. Because usually when you buy it in the supermarket, they cut it into slivers and you just take a little hunk out and toss it into your hot pot. But here you can get it fresh made right from the source. A lot of photo shoots over here. They're killing it over here. Constant flow of customers. But I want to show you guys this view from up here of the street so you can see just how crowded it is. It's truly insane. So you guys to catch a view of this. Look at that.
A few minutes later. A few minutes later.
Finally, I've got a little breathing room. And I'm not gonna lie, that was cool back there, but that was so crowded that it feels good to get out of there. It's definitely worth checking out, it's worth seeing, but once you're kind of stuck in it, you can't get out. I haven't been in a crowd like that since I can't even remember when. But we're out of it now. Raffle City, there's another popular spot amongst tourists. I definitely just found the dude with the coolest strut in all of Chongqing. It's kind of John Travolta-esque. I'm following this dude. Now, why am I making the effort to walk all the way over here? Just to look at this spot of the river? Well, no. Actually, what you've got here, you've got the confluence of two rivers in China. You've got the Yangtze over here and the Jialing River. This is where they merge. So in terms of Chinese geography, this is a pretty significant location. So we've got the Jialing River over here, and then coming up from this way, which I can't get over there to show you guys, but coming up that way is the Yangtze River, or Chongqing as they say in Chinese. Now this is where they merge, and it's pretty interesting because if you look on a map, if you just follow this river, Right now we're out here in southwestern China. If you follow this river, it will take you all the way through central China, run through several major cities like I mentioned earlier, Wuhan, Nanjing, and ultimately it will merge with the ocean in Shanghai. That's a long journey that this river makes, and you can take long distance riverboat cruises here. I'm back for round 2, but I had to because now I'm across the street. We can get a better view of the entire complex from over here. You can't miss it, you know, if you're gonna come here, you can't miss it. But I can say that this is probably the last time, well, the first and last time I'll ever be here. It's one of those places, I'm glad I did it, but at the same time, I'm kind of crowd averse. I don't dig these really, really crowded places. The only reason I would probably come back is if I was traveling with a friend, and of course they would have to see this place, so I'd come with them. But otherwise, this is it. And I can check it off the list, but it is beautiful, isn't it? Another thing that this region is well known for, and this is not me saying it, guys, this is what Chinese people will tell you. They will tell you that this region is famous for having the most, or at least some of the most, arguably the most beautiful women in China. So I'm not gonna give too many of my personal thoughts, but you guys have been watching the video, so you can kind of let me know what you think. Actually, I take that back. I will give you my thoughts. I have to admit, I have seen some very, very attractive members of the opposite sex. I think I put that very gentlemanly, didn't I? It's kind of funny. I've eaten that very dish, Chongqing xiaomian, in so many places in China, but now this is like an actual legitimate one. I'll try it before I go. The streets are lined with sellers, but you can see I'm on the wrong side of them. It kind of works out nicely because I've got less people trying to sell me stuff. But yeah, they line literally the entire block. It just goes on and on and on. I'm gonna cut through next to this old gentleman here selling the fresh figs. I'm seeing something really weird here. I've seen this several places now. Foot bath from soaking your feet in hot pot soup. This isn't the first one I've seen of that. I've seen a couple of those now. That must actually be a thing here. I've had a hell of a time trying to get back to my hotel. It's within walking distance from here, but because this is basically the side of a cliff, if you don't know the area well, even if you look at the maps, the road's kind of cut off. I thought I could walk around, go in that direction. Turns out I couldn't. So it looks like the only way that I know to do it is to basically put in that work. Started from ground level, going up all these stairs, and we just keep going up and climbing that great wall. Coming off the cliff face, you got a little mini waterfall kind of thing. And some interesting signs. Caution, falling rocks. The layout of this city is really interesting. Oh look, maybe I can climb. I don't think so. Well, one thing about this way is you do get some pretty good views at the end. We're way up here. I just walked a lot of distance, a lot of steps, but in terms of actual distance on a map, I went basically nowhere. I just basically went straight up. Now we're on the upper level. It's like another city up here, you know? Life goes on, you got businesses and restaurants. We've made it to the top of the cliff. So now, all these roads should be connected and stuff. So yeah, wow, what a unique detour. There's a hot pot place there. I mean, I love hot pot, don't get me wrong, and I plan to try it, but I don't really want it tonight. But everything I look at is just, it's either noodle shop or a hot pot place. I know there's a lot of really great food up here, but like there's another noodle place. Hot pot place, hot pot place. I really would like to see, I'm just surprised that there's not just like a restaurant that has different types of dishes and things. Because all I'm literally seeing is noodle shops and hot pot shops by the dozens. Okay, so after all that searching, I told you guys in this particular area, it's either hot pot or noodles. So I decided to get Chongqing xiaomian, which is just it's a type of Chongqing noodle dish. It's their most famous noodle dish. I've really enjoyed it in other places. And of course I had to get a local beer. They call their local beer Shancheng beer. It means mountain city beer if you translate it. Now it is brewed by Carlsberg Chongqing, but it's still their local beer. It's got ground meat, and this is ground pork. It's got a type of bean in here, some veggies. And I asked them to go a little bit light on the spiciness level because, you know, this area is known for very spicy food. So, you know, I don't want to be sick tomorrow. So I went with a light amount of spiciness. And you can see on the bottom, there's still quite a bit of chili oil. And I've got to say, I'm glad I got light on the spice because that is spicy. But it really does taste great. Now let's get into this local beer, guys. So cheers to everybody watching this video. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. This toast is to you. Pop a top. Cheers, guys. All right, guys. That is going to end day 1 or day 0, you could call it, because it wasn't a full day. But this was my arrival in Chongqing. I think you could get a pretty good feel of my first impressions. The only real issue that I had was basically not knowing how to get back to where I needed to go. And that's not Chongqing's fault, that's my fault, because I'm a newbie. But to put it explicitly, my first impressions of Chongqing is that the place is f***ing awesome. And I'm eager to see what tomorrow holds. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I've got a lot more videos on the way, and we're only getting started. Tomorrow's a brand new day, and we've got the whole day to explore Chongqing. I'm eager to see it, and I'm eager to share the experience with all you all. So that's gonna wrap things up for now, guys. I'll catch you all in the next video. 下次再见. Another town, another day. This road's going, it's hard to say. All I know is I gotta keep going. But where it ends, nobody really knows. So come with me.